Hello, everyone. David Bennett here from the One Change Away and Empower Living Institute. Today we are talking to Stephanie Yuhas Katz. Am I pronouncing the middle?
No, it's Yuhas.
Yuhas.
It's okay.
My apologies.
It's Eastern European. It's okay. You get a pass.
We are going to be talking about clutter, decluttering, home staging. We're going to sort of go all over the place. So our apologies in advance. You can write any questions you have for either of us in the comments when I post this video. Having some trouble going live on Facebook today, so I'll just be posting this recording. So first question I have, Stephanie, is how'd you get into this?
So I'm the owner of a boutique occupied staging and home decorating firm in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, called Stephanie Katz Interiors. Decluttering is actually the first thing you can do, whether you're staging your house to sell or you're considering designing your room to live. You really can't go any further before you start to declutter and see the room for what it is. And honestly, you're going to save yourself some money. If you're designing a space like an office and it's really, really cluttered, and you can end up buying extra pieces that you may not need until you tackle the decluttering process.
And what's the decluttering process? So let's walk through a scenario. How's that?
Sure.
I want to sell my house. I contact you. Okay. What do we do?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you how long you've been in the house and if you've started pre-packing and going through your belongings in the basement or the attic.
Okay.
So essentially, the longer somebody's been in their home, the more they're attached to their things, and it's harder for them to get rid of. And until they detach themselves from their memories in their home, the sooner they can start the home staging process.
Nice.
You have to start looking at your house as the most valuable asset you own so that you can market it rather than the place that you've raised a family and collected all these memories in. And it usually starts with most of the belongings that aren't going to show well when you're listing your house for sale.
Would that be classified in my terms as stuff?
Stuff. Lots of stuff. And
Okay.
It can be all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. We all have a tendency, I think, to collect stuff, and we attach memories to it. I can't remember the book, Marie Kondo?
Marie Kondo?
Yeah, I remember listening to that book, and I liked what she had to say about, does this bring me joy?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if it doesn't, you can kiss it goodbye and move on. And
right.
she's kind of right about that. So a lot of times people hold on to things that have been passed down to them, either from somebody in your family or given to you, gifted from a friend. And we have these feelings of guilt associated with it when we no longer feel like we need it or love it. But it's important to remember the feeling that it brought you when it was given to you. So maybe you grew up visiting your grandmother and she had this old piece and you remember it in her house and now it's yours. She passed away and it's yours. Well, maybe it doesn't work in your style of home, but you feel guilty getting rid of it. But you can always remember the feeling it brought you going to her house. It's probably in some of your photographs. The memory and the feeling are more important than the actual thing, because the thing will literally weigh you down if it doesn't work for you or your life. Same thing with something given to you by a friend. It's important to remember that your friend thought of you, they remembered something that it is that you love, and they gave you that thing. It no longer suits you or your life and you want to get rid of it. You really shouldn't. I know you shouldn't, and we have these feelings of guilt, but it's important to remember the feeling it brought you rather than having the actual thing in your space that may be bogging you down and preventing you from moving forward.
So when you go in to stage a house, what's the average person dealing with? A lot, a little?
Honestly, it depends. The younger people, a lot of people move around for a job, and if they're in their 30s, they don't have as much stuff. They may have photo galleries, and of course I say we need to depersonalize, take down your personal photos, because people will stop and stare, and they're going to imagine you living there, and wonder what your life is about when they want to see themselves there. So people will get caught up in your stuff and your memories and your story, so you need to remove it. But the person that's been in the house and raised a family for 30 so years, there's usually a lot of stuff. Now, sometimes if the realtor's gotten to them first, the realtor typically delivers the message, and people will start the process before I get there. Sometimes, a lot of times they're in the middle of it and there are boxes everywhere. But typically people are dealing with basements, attics, closets galore, kitchen cabinets, and in a lot of the older homes, there are just like tables full of family pictures, and it just translates in your MLS photos as clutter. So it's not good. It's not going to allure your potential buyers.
Right. Everybody's looking for something clean and neat, and
They are, and they want it to feel warm and homey, and it's a step up from their current living situation. So they need to be able to visualize themselves there, but it also has to appeal to them in a warm and homey way without your specific items. There's a fine line between decorating and staging.
Okay. So what's your biggest hurdle if you were coming into a house new?
Honestly, the biggest hurdle that I get are from the people that have lived in their house for a long time, and maybe they're not ready to move on. They know they should. It's the next phase in their life. Their kids are out of college and have moved on, and they know it's time to move, but they're not fully committed. So they're resistant to getting everything out of their room. A lot of times some of this stuff and clutter can be large pieces like treadmills or ellipticals, and it's in their master bedroom. And they don't understand why. They've had it in their bedroom for 20 years, whether they're using it or not. And they don't understand how this is going to prevent the sale of their home. But honestly, every room needs to have one focus one purpose when you're selling your house. And you really need to spell it out for potential buyers, what it is. So things like, well, these are my closets and this is where I store my stuff. Well, yeah, but people want to see the size of your closet, the depth of your closet, how much storage space. That's a huge selling feature. Basements, whether it's finished or not, if it's full of stuff, younger families want to finish their basement. So they need to be able to see the potential down there.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. How many treadmills are just clothes closets?
Pretty much 95% of them.
I know it's ironic, I guess. People want to hang on to it, but it's more of a
especially if it's in your bedroom. If it's in the basement and there's actually a designated workout space, most people are using those. But once it's in the bedroom, no dice.
So you and I talked about a week ago a little bit, and you mentioned like there are different types of clutter and stuff. Like people put certain stuff in certain places. Can you go through that again for me?
Yeah, so there's definitely a feng shui element to clutter, and clutter is energy, and it's stale energy. The more you have, the more stale the energy in your house. So your home actually is a great representation of you and your being. So the more stuff you have in your basement, and it's usually bigger items like, it could be old sofas, refrigerators, just boxes of things you haven't gone through. Your basement is said to represent your past. Your main living floors, anywhere there's clutter, represents your present. And any upper levels, like an attic, or if you have a cape and you finish that top level, that's your future. And there's also saying, the phrase skeletons in your closet? Well, your closets and cabinets are your subconscious.
Okay.
So yeah, it's important to think about where you might be stuck in life. Like maybe you've had issues with parents or a relative growing up and you never quite made it through that process through therapy or other means. You may want to look at your basement and see what's going on and start moving stuff around and see how that translates in real life and your relationships in real life.
What's the most common of those that you find? If there is one.
Closets.
And that's your subconscious, right?
Yeah, closets and junk drawers. Who doesn't have a junk drawer? I would say, I'm not OCD, but I'm pretty well organized and we're constantly going through stuff, but who doesn't have a junk drawer? Right. I have one in the office. I have one in the kitchen. I have one in my nightstand, but everywhere else, it's neat. But notebooks, pens, pencils, coupons, things accrue. So there's always something going on in your subconscious, right? You're always.
My kids is a treasure drawer. There's just stuff in there.
Yeah, I can relate.
So what's the best piece of advice? And this will be a two-part question. Best piece of advice if I want to declutter, that'll be the start. And second, best piece of advice if I'm thinking about calling you, but haven't gotten to the point where I want to sell my house.
Okay, so let me answer. I'll go in order. If you're thinking about decluttering, I'm going to tell you it's probably not going to excite you. So you're going to think, wow, this is the time. And it really is the time while we're sitting at home and maybe we can't focus one day because our kids are doing homework and we've been sidetracked from work so frequently that we just can't get back into it. It's actually a good idea to throw yourself into something like decluttering because the physical aspect of it, you have to move boxes and move around, will get you more in that headspace versus sitting at your computer going, I have to make a flow chart. I have to do a presentation, you know. So once you're physically moving, it's a little bit better because mind and body work together. You're not going to want to do it. So you may want to throw on some of your favorite tunes, get your beverage of choice, just start that way. But small victories. Once you start seeing some improvement and you feel that sense of accomplishment, it's kind of like exercising. You're going to at some point be bitten by the bug to continue and finish the job and move on to something else. So I guess it depends on your personality. Are you the person that needs a small victory first? You may want to start with the closet, or is there something that's been weighing on you and you know you need to get to it and you're like, this is the time, then you may want to tackle your larger scale basement or your attic. It depends on you and whether you need those small victories and sense of accomplishment first, or you can tackle the bigger things. As far as calling me, you can call me anytime. I will advise you over the phone. I'm going to ask you how long you've been in the house and how much stuff you've accrued and collected over the years. And while I don't offer organization services, there are plenty of people that do. So you may want to try to tackle it yourself first. And if you don't need somebody, I could recommend somebody to you. But you can call up to like a year out. And the reason is this.
Okay.
Occupied home staging is a little bit more than just decluttering and removing things and moving things around your house. There's the element of fixing things, repairing things, upgrading, painting. And a lot of times if the season is busy, well, right now it's slow and you may not want people in your house, but it could become more of a DIY thing and the process is going to be slower. In the busy season, it may be harder to get a painter into your house. If you're the kind of person that's accrued things and you're afraid of change, you may want to do it a little bit more slowly and a little bit more piecemeal to get used to the changes in your house, like the colors. You can call me in anytime for a consultation. I don't judge. I've been in well over 100 homes. I've seen everything. I've seen darn close to hoarder situations, to minimalist living where I'm like, we need to bring some pieces into your home to make it a little bit more inviting. And I always prompt people to call before they're starting a renovation or starting to purchase things for their home, because I want them to invest wisely and make the right decisions the first time. I would hate for them to choose something in their house because it's on sale, but it's not going to appeal to the masses and your home is still going to sit. Like if you finally, you're tackling your kitchen and it's been in limbo, now you've got the time to paint your cabinets and replace your backsplash and update your lighting. I'd rather you consult me or a home stager, somebody that's going to point you in the right direction for the style of your home and what your potential buyers are looking for so that you're investing wisely.
Okay. So I didn't realize this, but so if I called you in, you would say, okay, this bedroom needs fresh paint, or
sure.
Okay, so you're
a lot
pointing
of times
out
I'm
those
giving
things.
fresh paint for the whole house.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's good. I would never have thought that. I guess somebody's got to tell somebody.
Yeah, there's a psychology. You're going to grab people in the first 10 seconds of them entering your house, whether they can see themselves there and they're in love or it's no dice.
So explain to me, because maybe I'm getting confused. What exactly does a home stager do? Like that, you told us that, but like what further in the process? Like, let's say it's now the showing stage, or
The
it's been a
showing
while
stage.
since. Yeah.
What do you mean by the showing stage?
So okay, it's on the market now, and people are going to be coming in, coming out. Do you get feedback from realtors? Like, hey,
sure.
5 out of the
Sure.
last 6 people
Yeah,
hated this.
If the house has already been listed once and didn't sell, and now they're
Okay.
calling in a home stager, I'm definitely getting that feedback of what happened the first time and didn't work out so well. And if you do have to relist because you didn't the first time, you want to make sure you're starting with a clean slate and getting all new MLS photos online, because, like 96% of people are shopping online, especially, well, 100% now before they step foot into your house. But my job is done. By the time the house hits the market and I've done the consultation with you, my job is done. But essentially, home staging starts with a consultation. It's typically up to 2 hours. That serves about a 4,000 square foot home or so. And we come through, and like I said before, we make recommendations as far as what to declutter, which is everything, what to remove from your house as far as large pieces of furniture, what furniture to rearrange, and depending on your budget, because not everybody has the budget, but depending on your budget, what you can replace or upgrade to speak to the emotions of your potential buyers. And a lot, kitchens and baths sell homes, so a lot of times it could be painting kitchen cabinetry, upgrading your countertops and backsplashes. Lighting is a big one. You'd be surprised. Updating those brassy fixtures from the 80s and 90s, because the brass that's out now is much different from the brass of 20, 30 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And then, at the very end, after people have made 75% at least of the recommendations that a stager has made, stagers typically, and I also provide services where we come back and do the photo preparation. So we'll ask that you leave out some of your decor. Don't put everything away, because now we have the finishing touches. We want to keep it very simple, timeless and classic, but you don't want sterile surfaces. You don't want it to be completely barren, whether it's kitchen counters, dressers, credenzas. And while we're not going to paste, your family photos everywhere, we're going to have some slight touches, whether it's a bowls, some flowers, some artwork we're going to strategically hang to draw your eyes to certain features of the house, keep your buyer's eyes traveling throughout. There's a very psychological aspect of home staging. And like I said, it's a fine line between decorating and staging, because you want to reach as many potential buyers as you can with home staging. Whereas with decorating, we're making your home function and work for you and reflect you and the things you love and things that you like to look at.
Gotcha. So what's the best, and we may have already covered this, but the best advice for someone who's just thinking about getting their house on the market?
Definitely make sure you've decluttered and pre-pack. So if you're selling in the summer months, or you're going to be selling in the summer months, start packing up your winter stuff. Winter coats and boots take up a large amount of real estate in your closets and in your mudrooms. Pack them up, label them, get a storage facility off-site.
Okay.
I recommend not getting a pod, because then people coming to your house are going to see the pod in the driveway and be like, how much stuff do they have in that house?
Right. Okay.
And it's going to reflect in your exterior shots also.
So did I miss anything? That's the open-ended question.
I don't think so. I think it depends on the person and how quick you are to embrace change if you're going to sell, and how quick you are to tackle a job like decluttering.
Awesome. Now, Stephanie, you sent me a link yesterday for a free gift for everybody who's listening to this. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It's ways that you can help sell your house quicker. And it's an opt-in download off my website. So if you're considering putting your home on the market and you live in it, it's an owner-occupied home, there are some tips in there for things you want to think about before putting your house on the market.
Awesome. And I will post the link in the comment section or right above the video of this. Stephanie, anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it. I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that we're not live right now, but I'm happy to take any questions that come along the way. And feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. And Stephanie's a member of this group, so you will, by me tagging you in this video, you'll get notifications if there are comments. So if you have comments, questions, post them right there, and we'll make sure we get them answered for you. Okay? Stephanie, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a great day. And remember, everybody, you're one change away from better health and now decluttering your house. Have a great day.